Hello and welcome to this tutorial. In this tutorial I want to show you how you can set up some parking spots for an AI car so that the AI car travels to the spot, park there and go on. So we have a similar way to do that. In this case here's a simple way that is just drive to the side and go on, and we have some parking spots where it has to park inside the spot. Yeah. Okay, the first thing I have to show you is we go to our AI car from the last tutorial and has our get path function here. So we have to do something here. So let's set up some variables. So we need a variable for this will be is parking. This will be a boolean, and another one we need also a boolean that called parks, and the third one will be the parking spot. This will be a vector. This is also helpful for later when you want to know where the car is standing, the parking spot. Great! So let's start with this function here. So the first thing is we pull this out a little bit and unplug this. So first of all we need a branch, because we have to ask is the car is parking, so like that, and also another branch for, so if this is true, then the second question is did the car parks. Yeah, you will see what I do there. So the second thing is we have to modify our getPath function a little bit, not much, but we need an input. So I prepared this already. So you go just to the getPath and just search for the spline component object reference. So what it's done now, we can just delete this one here and just connect the spline with these two target points here, like that. So the good thing about this, we can now set the spline that will be calculated for the steering inside the event graph, because this is asking right now. So we go here for the normal way and say active path and just connect it with the spline. So we say get spline like that and just connect the spline for normal way. Okay, this will be the typical case. So the next thing will be we put up here the vehicle movement. We go here and just copy and paste the get path in the false case. So the second way will be that we pull out our these splines here and say promote to a variable, and this will be our parking position, or in this case positions, like that. Great. So similar way like here. So set the steering and connect it. Great. So, and the third thing will be that we need a new function. So let's put this right here. And now we say park. Okay. So, and this function we can just copy from the get path. So that's what we have to do. We go from here, copy this part here, and put it right here. And now we need a return value for the park. This will be also the steering. So pretty similar. So a float like that. Put it right here, connect it. And now we need both look at rotation. So the start and the target point. So the start point will be the get actor location. This will be the AI car, like that. And the target is the parking spot. like that. Okay, yeah, that's it. So we go back to our event graph, take our park function, connect it with the steering, like that, and put the vehicle movement in the target point. Okay, great. So now we have three situations: the normal steering calculation, then the searching for the parking spot, and the parking itself. So let's go back to our side parking spot here. So let's open it up. It's pretty simple. So we have two collision boxes here, the start spot and the parking spot, and between them there's a spline, so the car knows which circle it has to drive, like that. And now we just need the start spot and say begin overlap. So the start spot, as you can see, is on the road, so it will be triggered. And from the start spot we say caused to AI car, or whatever your name is. So then we take our spline and we go from our AI car and say set parking positions that we created. Connect the spline with the parking positions, and now we just have to say, go from the AI car and say is parking, and we want to set it. Of course, we want to set it to true, of course. Okay, great. So the second thing is we take our parking spot, again begin overlap, and we can copy and paste the cars to AI car, like that. And now we call the stop function, like that. So now let's say the car should stop there, wait for 5 seconds, and then continue driving. So we go here after the stop and say delay of, in this case, for example, 5 seconds. And then we have to set again is parking. And we want to set it to false, of course, because we want that the cars continue driving. And like I said, driving. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Let's test it. So we have spawn point, we have the path right here that goes from there to there, and it will cross the parking spot. So let's see if it works. Hit play. Car is driving this path. Hit the parking spot, drive to the parking spot, hold there, wait for 5 seconds, and then continue driving. Great. So this is working. So let's go to our parking spots right here. So this is a way more complicated. So if we go here, we have, like you can see, a start box. That's pretty similar. And we have a few parking positions. In this case, this is the check parking 1, 2, and go on. And we have the parking spots here. So the idea is it hit the first one, checks is the parking place free. If not, go to the second one, checks this, and if it's free, it should drive to the parking spot. So let's start with it. So the first thing was pretty similar. We take our enter box and we need the begin overlap, like that. And in this case also the cars to AI car 1. So pretty similar. We take our spline and say set parking positions, like that. And what I want to do now is that we set the speed, because it should be a little bit slower when it searches for a parking spot, so it's much easier. So let's say that's a 0.4. And of course, if we do that, we have to say set throttle input like that. Connect the points. Great. And of course, the last thing is the boolean is parking and set it to true. So now it should drive the spline point right here. But now it has to check, is the parking spot free? So this will be the search parking, and now we need the check function. So let's create one. Another function, check parking. In this case we need another variable, so let's create one. This will be park positions. Okay, and the park positions will be an array. So this will be our question for all parking spots here. So we have 15, so let's go back to our parking place and create 15 array elements like that. So this will be all false because no one is parking right now, and this will be set later. Compile and save that. So we take our park positions and say get a copy. What we have to do now is we need some input values right here. So the first one will be the car itself. So let's say AI Car 1 object reference. The second will be the box. This will be the box collision, also an object reference. And the third one will be the index of the parking place. So this is just an integer. So let's connect the integer, so the index, sorry, with the copy of the park positions, like that. And now, of course, we need a branch to ask, like that. Can connect this here. So we take our box here and say get world location, like that, because this will be the position of the parking spot. And now we go from our car and say set parking spot. So on false, this means the parking position is free. We will set the parking spot to the box. In this case, this box or this box, depends on which is free. And the last thing, we go again from our car and say set parks. To true, of course. Great, so this is our check parking function. So now we have to call it, go back to the event graph, and now we just have to say, we go from our check parking 1, in this case, for example, begin overlap, and now pretty similar, cast AI Car 1, take our parking position 1, and now we just call our check parking. So we connect the AI car with the car, the park position with the box, and we can leave it, in this case, the index to 0. Like that. Great. So now we have to write just one more function, because now we have to say what happened if the car reached the parking spot. So we take our park position and say details begin overlap again. this over here. Again, can copy the cars to AI1. And now we just go from the AI car and say stop. Of course, now we have to set the parking position. So we take the parking position and just say set array element. In this case to true for the index 0. Great. Compile and save that. Let's test it. For this, let's take our spawn point, put it right on the other side of the road. Switch around. And of course we need our path. Move around. Like that. And now it should be drive this road. Let's see. We play. Car is driving to a spot. Now it hit the collision box. Drive a little bit slower. Search for a parking spot. Find the first one. And hold. So let's finish our function. We go back to the parking place and now have to continue both of these for the rest of the parking positions. So we skip that. So here we have the final result. So I copy the both functions for the other parking spots, and now let's see how it works. With play, both cars driving to the parking location. So the first car hit the parking spot, search for a park position, find the first one, parks. Second car came in, see that the first spot is blocked, and drive to the second spot. And parks as well. Great! So, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and if you have any questions, please let me know, and yeah, goodbye!